Welcome to Talking Straight. I'm Suresh Kochattil. Does India need a third aircraft carrier, or should it go for more submarines? An old debate has been reignited with the commission of INS Vikrant, and the defense establishment is divided on it. With the commissioning of Vikrant, India has joined a select group of nations like the United States, United Kingdom, Russia, China and France, which are capable of designing and building an aircraft carrier. The Indian Navy currently has two aircraft carriers, INS Vikramaditya and INS Vikrant. Well, then why do we need another one? The answer is both yes and no. Within the security establishments, opinions are divided about the need or the utility of an additional carrier. The former Chief of Defence Staff, General Bipin Rawat, argued that acquiring more submarines to boost the morale of the undersea capabilities and must be a priority since the submarine fleet is dwindling. On the other hand, the then Navy Chief, Admiral Karambir Singh, said that the 65,000-ton aircraft carrier remains non-negotiable. Why is Navy insisting on a third aircraft carrier? Because they call it an additional operational necessity. A third aircraft carrier is needed to ensure that at least two are in operation at all times, one in the east in the Arabian Sea and the other in the west in the Bay of Bengal. Aircraft carriers are necessary for India to have the capability to dominate the Indian Ocean and project power away from its shores. So what's the Navy's take? Recall what the Navy had said in the National Maritime Security Strategy of 2015. To quote, "Aircraft carriers are central to fleet operations and the concept of sea control as they offer flexibility and versatility of very high order. These mobile airfields, as they are called, combine with substantial integral air power and mobility to provide the ubiquitous and enhanced combat power across vast maritime spaces and the advantage of, more importantly, the advantage of rapid deployment." Unquote. Clearly, the Indian Navy has clarity on why it needs a third aircraft carrier. So let's look at how China is facing. It currently has two operational aircraft carriers and actually has launched a third one, which is a new 80,000-ton carrier called Fujian. Coming back to India, as the gestation period for such projects is huge, India must be now starting to capitalize on the learnings and capabilities that it developed during the construction of INS Vikrant at Cochin Shipyard. Supporters of the idea argue that if the development of the next carrier does not take off now, the capabilities would be lost. What is the case against it? Well, the concerns have been expressed about the utility of a carrier, along with the cost involved and the alternatives available. But the development of anti-access area denial capability to deny the adversary naval assets, including carriers, like China's DF-121D and DF-26, has sparked questions on the survivability of aircraft carriers, because they're huge and they move in a kind of a flotilla around it. A case has been presented instead for more submarines for India. In 2020, General Bipin Rawat said, "We are not an expeditionary forces that have to deploy around the globe," which is very true. We don't go to Iraq, we don't go to Iran, we don't go to Yemen and fight out there. We have to guard and fight only along our borders and of course dominate the Indian Ocean and the Malacca Straits. Unquote. He also said the Indian Navy needs to have more submarines rather than aircraft carrier, which themselves require individual armadas for protection. The Indian Navy currently has fewer submarines than it needs, and most of us know that. Most of India's conventional submarines are 20 to 30 years old and will have to be replaced anyway during the next decade. The Indian Navy currently operates 16 diesel-powered submarines, and its fleet is based in two locations, Visakhapatnam on the east coast and Mumbai on the west coast. It has 14 diesel-electric submarines and two nuclear submarines, of which one is still under trial. The fifth Scorpion-class conventional submarine, Vagir, was delivered to the Navy by the Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited, Mumbai, on December the 20th. It's scheduled to be commissioned into service next month. It was delivered in a span of just 24 months, which is actually very, very noticeable and notable achievement. The sixth and the last class of Scorpion-class submarine, Vakshir, was launched into the water in April 2022 and is expected to be delivered to the Indian Navy by end of 2023. These 6 Scorpion submarines are being built under the Project 75 by the Mazagon Dock Limited under the technology transfer of the Naval Group of France under a $3.7 billion deal that was signed way back in October 2005. The project is already 4 years behind schedule. The INS submarine, that is the submarine INS Kalvari, was commissioned in December 2017, the second one Khanderi in December 2019, the third one Karanch in March 2021, the fourth one INS Vela joined service in November 2021. Parallelly, a tender has been invited to build 6 more advanced conventional submarines under the Project 75 and is in the request for proposal stage, but has suffered huge delays. Due to these delays, Germany's SSKs 209S and Russian EKMs are being put through a medium refit life certification process, which will give them an additional life for 10 to 15 years. The Navy currently has 15 conventional and 1 nuclear submarine, as I told you before. It includes 7 Russian Kilo-class submarines, 4 German HTW submarines, and 4 Scorpion-class submarines, which I just spoke about, and of course an indigenous nuclear ballistic missile submarine, INS Arihant. The Navy has drawn up plans to install air-independent propulsion modules on all Scorpion submarines as they go for the refit, beginning of course with INS Kalvari in the next couple of years to enhance their endurance. The development of an indigenous AIP module is being developed by the DRDO and is in advanced stages. The Indian Navy will have to invest heavily in its submarine arm over the next few years. As for whether the Navy needs a third aircraft carrier, the Indian government takes its time to announce a decision formally. While the Navy insists on it, we have to see what the government has to say. Definitely, the Indian Ocean is a battle zone today. Chinese submarines, Chinese ships all patrol around it. The Malacca Strait is a very, very busy schedule around it. And definitely, the Indian Navy needs to be there all the time. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.
Please subscribe to Nationalist Hub English channel for more interesting videos, and don't forget to like and share this video. Nationalist Hub, it's a news revolution.